If you like what you watch, then don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Twitter for the latest updates on The More Show. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel for new weekly television and radio shows.
Hello, I'm William. If you're seeking a deeper understanding to issues in your life, such as health, relationships, or work, visit the website themoreshow.co.uk/book a reading or telephone 0800 849 2310 in order to find out how to have an Akashic reading with me or information for ordering my book, Illuminating Physical Experience, which explains the deeper spiritual lessons and karmic meanings behind everything in your life. Thank you.
William Shafer, an Akashic Reader, presents Illuminating Physical Experience. Jacqueline Ekman, a spiritual counselor, presents Veronica, The Lost Years of Jesus, and Veronica, Eyewitness to the Ministry of Jesus. All these and other titles are available at themoreshow.co.uk/shop.
Hello and welcome to the show. My first guest is William Shafer. William has a gift which allows him to tune into people's higher selves and provide past life readings, as well as specialising in dream work. William has also co-written the book Illuminating Physical Experience. William Shafer, welcome to the show. William, it's an absolute honour to have you on the show. It really is. Thank you for joining us. So, William, for our audience, just tell us a bit about yourself to begin with.
Well, my work has been in two primary areas, working with past lives and working with dreams. I'm what you call an Akashic Reader. Akasha is a Sanskrit word that means total sum.
Yes.
And your Akashic record is like an energetic imprint in the total energy of your being. It's in the DNA in every cell of your body. So it's part of your genetic imprint, your complete history of all your lifetimes, all the experiences up to this moment.
Right. Well, let's just start the basics here. What's the difference between spirit and soul?
Okay, because most people tend to use this interchangeably.
Yeah.
We are all spiritual beings. We are spirit. And whenever spirit projects a part of itself into physical existence, that's a soul experience. So we are spiritual beings with many, many soul experiences. I use the analogy of a pearl necklace. Each pearl is a lifetime. Each pearl is an incarnate soul experience. But the string that ties it all together and makes it one necklace, that's your original spiritual being. So soul doesn't reincarnate, spirit does. But each life is a unique soul experience.
Okay, so I suppose then when we pass on, what happens then? Do we become aware of these past lives?
The soul experience always maintains its individuality.
Yeah.
Our higher self is the accumulation of everything. And each soul experience maintains that experience. And then it integrates with the other soul experiences. Oftentimes, spirit guides are our own past lives.
Yeah.
It can be, other spiritual beings, or it can be our own past life experience, because you are the total necklace and each individual pearl.
So how do we connect with our past lives then?
Well, if the desire is really there to do so, it's a matter of not trying so hard to do it. Trying is a way of not doing it. You have to really relax with the desire, and the desire has to be really deep enough.
Yeah.
And it's not just out of curiosity or to get information, what was my name and where did I live and what did I do. That isn't helpful, and that's not what I do in my readings. Each life experience becomes a teacher to all the other life experiences to help us with the unresolved issues and lessons that we're still working on and healing within ourselves. And if the desire is there to connect with that,
Yeah.
it's just relaxing into that desire and invoking very clear within yourself that this is what I want. I'm at a crossroads in my life where, I'm seeing a pattern of relationships that happens all the time. I find that I'm being very confused and I can't make decisions. Dramas are erupting in my body, whatever. And rather than just being a victim reacting to what's happening,
Yeah.
if we're willing to accept that we choose and create everything in all our lives, then we can ask our own inner self, help me connect with the deeper meaning, the deeper reason.
So you're saying we even choose the suffering?
Well, suffering is the way we choose to experience it. Okay? Suffering is in direct proportion to your fearful resistance to it. We have the saying that no pain, no gain.
Yeah.
That's a belief system. And if that's your belief system, that's the way it's going to be. But the more we resist our own process, the more painful it can be. Pain is a barometer of resistance.
But what about, those poor kids in the third world countries who are born into that situation and who have no choice as we see it?
Yeah, as we see it. You see, that's what most people don't understand. That's the body of a 7-year-old child, but the soul is not the 7-year-old child. The spiritual being inside is what's choosing and creating.
How do you know that, though?
All I can say is, that's my truth. I can only express what is my experiential truth. It either rings for you or it doesn't, you know, but I can only share my own experience. And for me, we choose experience to mirror to us. Physical life is a mirror.
Yeah.
That's its purpose. And a mirror doesn't validate or prove or divine anything. The one and only job description of a mirror is to reflect. And if we're looking for validation or definition of who we are in our physical life, it's not going to work, because that's not what a mirror does. It can only reflect what you're projecting onto it. And we choose experiences in order to really learn who we are. And we have such little understanding or awareness of who we truly are or can be. So we create experiences to force us to meet the border, the wall, and to push it back and go beyond it and go beyond it, and to see how we trap ourselves in belief systems, in expectations, whatever we choose to believe, that's what we create.
Are you trapping yourself in a belief system?
I wouldn't be here unless I were. And I came into this life with a tape going on in my head that says, other people's patterns gets my life all messed up. Now, you can't be any more victim consciousness than that, okay? So I came here in this life, in the work I do, to teach me I'm not a victim. I'm the master and creator of my life. And when I'm feeling like a victim in any situation, that's my way of trying to run away and avoid what's really going on and the real purpose behind it. And that I chose and created in order to learn that.
Yeah.
So I'm here learning that lesson constantly.
So again, I'm going to come to it. What can we gain from having an understanding of where we've been before, if we have been there before?
You then recognize that there's certain patterns in your behavior and the experiences going on in your life. People come to me all the time and saying, I'm so tired of this. Every single relationship ends the same way. Yeah, there's a reason. Because you're projecting some kind of belief or expectation in it all the time. We react to life all the time if we believe that this physical level is all there is. If we understand that there's something deeper going on underneath it, this is how we learn to really respond to life, by taking responsibility. This experience is happening because it's trying to mirror something to me. And if we're willing to look at that instead of just reacting to what's happening, then we're getting into the deeper significance of why is this pattern here? And that pattern is not something to get rid of.
No.
It's not something bad we got to get rid of. That pattern is the teaching tool. And those patterns are there to help us heal and grow.
So for example, in your life, how has your work helped to heal you?
The way I used to work in past lives is that people would come to me, because I've done this kind of reading hundreds of times.
Okay.
And I would go into a trance, and here's the information, now get out of my life and don't bother me.
Right.
You know, I didn't want the mirroring from the other people. I was defining myself through what I did. I'm the high priest in the temple, I'm doing the readings, this is who I am. Well, I kept coming back life after life and doing the same thing and nothing was happening. So apparently that wasn't the truth. This lifetime is the very first lifetime where I don't go into a trance. I stay in this level of consciousness so that I am participating in everybody's reading. Everybody's reading is a reading for me.
And they're not put into trance neither, are they? You
No. And because I'm completely conscious and present, you know, I'm hearing my higher self telling me what I have to say to them.
Yeah.
Simultaneously, as the information's being given out, I'll hear my higher self saying, and are you paying attention to that, William? Because this is about you too.
Right.
And I have to hear that and stay completely anchored and focused in what I'm doing for the other person.
So when you've got someone in front of you and you're taking on their issues as well, it's a reflection to you.
They're mirroring something to me. Every reading has to mirror at least something.
Is it always clear what they're mirroring, or?
For me, yes.
Yeah.
It's always quite obvious to me, yes.
Simple things?
It's being really rammed down my throat this life that I really have to heal this pattern, that I'm not a victim in a victimizing world. And no matter how much it looks and feels that way, that's my perception.
And again, this is not a belief of yours, is it?
No. A belief is mental. And it is a truth that I feel in the very core of my body.
Yeah.
It's the only way that I can explain it.
Yeah. And I mean, you don't care what other people think, do you?
I couldn't care less.
No.
I'm not responsible for what people think. I'm not here to save anyone or tell them what to do or think or to change anyone.
Yeah.
I am only being my truth. That either helps people or it doesn't.
Yeah, and the people that come to see yourselves for these readings, they must leave with a very different mindset to when they first came.
It depends, because sometimes people think they want to heal. They think they want to understand and grow. And once the truth comes out, they may find, oh, this is not what I really want. So people can have a dramatic revelation, or they're in shock and they have to go away with it and deal with it little by little later, or they go into total denial.
Yeah, and again, you can't take responsibility for what they take
I
from
only
it.
do what I do. They're responsible what they do with it.
Yeah. And future lives, does that come into your readings at all?
It can.
I tell you what, we're going to take a break there. Yeah, we'll come back to that because it's such an interesting subject. I can't leave it there. So, okay, it's time for a break now, but William is staying with us, so don't go anywhere.
Hello, I'm William. If you're seeking a deeper understanding to issues in your life, such as health, relationships, or work, visit the website themooreshow.co.uk/book a reading, or telephone 0800 849 2310 in order to find out how to have an Akashic reading with me, or information for ordering my book, Illuminating Physical Experience, which explains the deeper spiritual lessons and karmic meanings behind everything in your life. Thank you.
William Shafer and Akashic Reader presents Illuminating Physical Experience. Jacqueline Ekman, a spiritual counsellor, presents Veronica, the Lost Years of Jesus, and Veronica, Eyewitness to the Ministry of Jesus. All these and other titles are available at themooreshow.co.uk/shop.
Visit themooreshow.co.uk/shop to purchase products and services from your favourite past guests. If you're new to this site, you can also catch up on the previous television and radio shows through YouTube and the More Show website.
Welcome back. I'm joined by past life regressionist William Shafer. Now, William, just before the ad break there, we were talking about future lives. Now, very briefly, should we be even looking into future lives? And why do some people?
Well, I mean, it can become a great escape. I don't focus on that because my work is healing what's going on in us now. And so I do the past lives because it's the total accumulation. And what's happening in our lives and in our bodies now is the result of everything that's been accumulating from all the lifetimes before. So, you know, why focus on the past instead of ahead? Because we're repeating the same patterns, and those patterns are making us ill. It's causing physical illness. It's causing problems in the external world. So, you know, history repeats itself unless you learn the lesson.
Yeah.
So if we go back and see the patterns of the lessons, then we can heal in this moment, and from that move on.
Okay, and just very briefly, so past lives, in your opinion, definitely affect this incarnation now, definitely are all affecting us. So when we look at patterns that we've got, we can relate them to being brought in from a past life?
Absolutely. Every disease or imbalance in the body, no matter what it is, no matter what causes it on a physical level, is an emotional issue. It's an unresolved emotional issue.
From a past life?
Yes.
Right, okay. What, for example, what sort of issues could they be?
All right, if you take, for example, all the different kinds of cancers. If it were true that you get cancer because of viruses in the air or because it's in your genes, everybody would have cancer because we all have cancer cells in our bodies. What triggers it is this accumulation of experience and especially unresolved issues. Cancer is eating away at the physical body, literally. And on a deeper spiritual level, this is about how we are eating away at ourselves with whatever emotional issues we're resisting, we're refusing to look at and own. Whatever we are suppressing deep in ourselves, it then erupts in the body.
But how does a cancer sufferer kind of take that in? I mean, you know, they're in so much distress in all sorts of levels.
When people come to me for readings where cancer is an issue, you have to work on two levels because you have to take care of the practical physical levels too. You know, holistic healing means holistic. It's not focusing on just one or the other. It has to be everything. So you have to have common sense and you have to do the practical things at a physical level. But modern medicine is very much about getting rid of the symptoms. And the symptoms are there because they're trying to tell you something. And when you're just getting rid of the symptoms, you're turning off the fire alarm without putting out the fire. That fire alarm is going off for a reason. So if you can simultaneously working whatever you need to do on a physical level, if you understand that this cancer, whichever kind it is some kind of an emotional issue, you can do whatever kind of work with yourself or with, you know, therapists, however you choose to do it, to get in touch with what am I not allowing myself to feel, what am I not owning or trusting in myself, in order to get to the root of what is the true source of the disease.
Right. What about things like, for example, depression? I mean, is that the same angle?
Depression is a complete resistance to the emotional body. When you go into depression, you're trying to turn off the emotional body totally. And it's a defense mechanism to not feel anything. But that creates such a pressure in the body and in the consciousness.
Yeah.
And then can lead to other physical and emotional symptoms. So depression is your body's way of saying you're shutting down completely.
Oh, okay. So we have to really look within ourselves and say, what is this feeling telling us now at this time? Is that what kind of sums up what your work's saying?
Yes.
And once we get that feeling, so for example, for me it may be, I need to love myself more. Is that enough? Is there more to that feeling?
I need to love myself, which is very true, but that's very general. You then have to choose, in what form and manners do I want to experience that for me? Does it mean being more creative? Music, writing, dance? Does it mean being more in nature, working with the garden?
Becoming a TV presenter?
Becoming a TV presenter, becoming an Akashic Reader, you know.
Yeah. So would you say what you do is a form of self-love for yourself?
Yes, and self-healing. Because again, This is the first lifetime where I'm always totally conscious when I'm doing the readings.
Right.
I have to own every reading is mirroring something to me about myself. And then I have to own that and work with it. They walk away from their reading, whatever they're going to do with it, but I have to retain whatever that mirrored to me about me.
So are you saying we can avoid sicknesses and illnesses, or?
We can certainly alleviate them much easier and much quicker.
Can't avoid them.
And the more you try to avoid anything, the more you create it.
Right.
Because avoidance comes out of fear. It comes out of a lack of trust.
Right.
So it's not trying to avoid anything, it's trying to meet whatever you have chosen you needed to experience because you need to learn something and to heal something. And if you can trust yourself to meet that, that can help you deal with however it's going to manifest, so you work with it rather than feeling like a victim and just trying to get rid of the symptoms as quickly as possible.
Right, so you're saying every hour of the day, every day, we should be monitoring our feelings and seeing what it says to us.
Well, every hour of every day could be a bit overwhelming. You could burn out real quickly. You've got to balance your life. There are times you need to just rest. There are times you need to just forget it, let go, and just walk on the beach, go to a movie, eat an ice cream cone. You don't have to be that 24-hour diligent. But it's about creating a conscious awareness, an ability to remind yourself when you need to. This is happening for a reason. There is something for me to learn. There is something beneficial, no matter how horrible it may look or feel.
So even in the darkest of times, there's growth within that time.
There is more light in the dark than in the light. Because darkness is not the opposite of light. It's not the absence of it. It's denied light. And we deny far more than we accept.
What is one of the key things in your findings with having, what, I would have said you've regressed, what, thousands?
Well, I don't.
Sorry, not
I
regress.
rarely regress.
No.
I primarily do Akashic reading.
Sorry, you're doing it from your feeling their past lives. How many of these have you conducted?
Thousands.
And what's the sort of key thing throughout them all?
Basically that we are afraid to love ourselves because self-love is empowering. We're afraid to be powerful because power has been misused in hundreds of ways across the centuries. We are so convinced on whatever level, consciously or unconsciously, if I become that powerful, I'm going to lose control, I'm going to be destructive, I'm going to be abusive. It's this fear of doing something wrong. And this perception of right and wrong is a belief system in itself.
Is there no such thing as right and wrong?
Yes and no.
So if I go now and knowingly hurt someone, surely that's wrong.
Exactly. But your experience, the fact that you are here on earth to learn and experience, there's no right or wrong there. We do not want to cause harm to ourselves or to anyone else, certainly. But we overjudge, we overcriticize everything we do and feel and think and say. And we have to be willing to let go of that kind of constant judgment and criticism of ourselves. And
so are you saying then, if we change ourselves, we affect everyone else?
Yes, because we're all one. There is only one being. We are all aspects of each other, ultimately.
And where is this oneness from? Is it from where we came from, or?
It just is.
Okay.
It just is.
So explain to the audience then, just where you think we come from.
We come from all there is. I mean, this kind of question, it's beyond our capacity to understand, really. And it really doesn't matter.
No.
We're here, that's the point. We're here, and we're dealing with whatever we're dealing with. So where did we come from? Where are we going? What difference does it make? You're here, and you're dealing with whatever you're dealing with here. You need to be here.
Right, so
and even if we're bringing up past life information, it's to deal with it here.
Right, not to get bogged down with what we did or feel responsibility for anything. Because would you say we've been everything and anything? The good, the bad, the ugly?
Eventually, when we've come to whatever completion, whatever that means.
Including animals?
Some believe that.
Yes.
Some believe that. And I would only say it's quite possible.
Do you believe that?
I think it's quite possible.
Right, okay. Then
I don't have memories of being animals, but I think it's quite possible. I have had people come to me for readings where, yes, they have been animals. It's been in their Akashic record that they have been, yes.
Yeah. And what does religion think about your work? I mean, obviously it's quite controversial.
As little as possible, though it depends on which religion you're talking about. Because more of the Eastern religions, this is normal.
Yes.
The Western religions especially, this is all about control. Man created religion in order to take self-responsibility away from him. Religion creates God in man's image. That's what it does.
Do you believe in God?
I believe in God as the totality. I do not believe in God as a separate entity.
So you're saying you're part of God?
We all are God.
Okay.
To be a part of is still even a kind of denial. Everything is God. There isn't anything that isn't.
In your opinion, yeah. Okay. Even the book that I'm reading
will
right
only express myself as my truth.
Even this book?
Of course.
Right.
Of course.
Okay. So with religion then,
actually, the Essenes believed in reincarnation. There was a lot of reincarnation in the original Judaism. But as religion progressed and it became much more about men controlling, this kind of truth became dangerous to them, because if everybody knows that they're responsible for themselves, if everybody knows they're equally God, all higher selves are equal and all higher selves are the one God, if people know they choose and create everything in their lives and they're totally responsible, what do you need this church for? What do you need someone to suffer for you and die for you and save you when that isn't the way it works, when you have to do it yourself? They can't control you. But we are not victims of a victimizing world. Man created religion in order to set himself up.
Surely there's a lot of beautiful things about religion as well.
Yeah, but that's not necessarily from the religion itself. That existed in humans long before these religions came along.
Right. How can people get in contact for a past life reading with yourself?
Because I'm in the process now of moving down to the Cardiff area, the best way is to send me an email.
And that is?
DonaldWilliam99 at yahoo.com.
Okay, and one quick thing you'd like to tell the audience before we end.
Other than wake up, the greatest key to emotional ownership: everything you feel is real, but everything you feel isn't true. If you feel unlovable, that's a very real feeling, but that doesn't mean it's true. And people have difficulty with emotional ownership because they believe it all. And if you realize that a lot of your emotions are reactions to belief systems, everything you feel is real, but choose what is truth for you.
Okay, well, thank you so very much for joining us today, William.
My pleasure.
For more information on William, visit my website, themoreshow.co.uk, and search for William Shafer under past guests. Stay tuned, because after the break, I'll be joined by Jacqueline Ekman.
Hello, I'm William. If you're seeking a deeper understanding to issues in your life, such as health, relationships, or work, visit the website themoreshow.co.uk/book a reading, or telephone 0800-849-2310 in order to find out how to have an Akashic reading with me, or information for ordering my book, Illuminating Physical Experience, which explains the deeper spiritual lessons and karmic meanings behind everything in your life. Thank you.
William Shafer, an Akashic Reader, presents Illuminating Physical Experience. Jacqueline Ekman, a spiritual counsellor, presents Veronica, the Lost Years of Jesus, and Veronica, Eyewitness to the Ministry of Jesus. All these and other titles are available at themoreshow.co.uk/shop.
If you like what you watch, then don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Twitter for the latest updates on The More Show. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel for new weekly television and radio shows.